Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Isabel Rodriguez, where I teach you how to become a cash master. And if anyone out there is wondering what the hell is a cash master, well, let me give you a little bit of the story. I came up with this term just some time ago where I started to realize that being in control of your finances, having financial stability, financial security, financial success, whichever it is that resonates with you, is not a one recipe that works for everybody. It's actually a lot of ingredients, and each of us give it our own seasoning. Meaning, the same recipe that worked for me might work for some people that are probably in a very similar situation that I was when I started this whole journey. And they might add other ingredients that I didn't add because I didn't need or because I didn't even know I needed. But the point is that Become a Cash Master is a program that supports and helps people learn where they're at, learn what is it that is keeping them stuck where they're at, and how they can start building that path to lead them to their financial success. With that said, I decided, and I literally decided this last night, to make this video on becoming aware of where our reality begins. And by this, I mean where it really begins. And funny story, because it was literally last night when I was snoozing off. Mind you, I work with people's numbers. I'm not a 5 a.m. person. I don't think it has much to do, but I've heard that a lot of bookkeepers prefer the later morning to the late night, work. So yeah, I'm there, right there. So I'm going to bed around midnight or 1 a.m. So yeah, it was like 1-ish a.m. And as I was nosing off, I was thinking, I should really share my story on how I went from $300 to building a six-figure business within 2 years. And not only just $300 in bank account, I was literally jobless, homeless, single mother, and there's many other things that I am going to mention throughout this video. So yes, to get started, I wanted to talk about really where does our reality begin. And I'm sure a lot of us are familiar here with the law of attraction, the law of vibration, the law of resonance, cause and effect. What you put in, you get out. What you think, you become. And to me, all of these terms, although they sound different and a lot of people explain them in different ways, but to me, they all have one meaning, and it is we are the co-creators of our reality. But co-creator, though, I don't know, it doesn't sound as sexy or as empowering. Yeah, I know, it doesn't. It took me some time to process it and to grasp the essence of it. And what the conclusion I came up with was, okay, so if I'm a co-creator, that means that everything else is created. I just need to become in alignment with it. Yeah, I know. It's that simple. Easy? Well, easy is a comparison. One, two, it really depends on your recipe, your outcome, where your starting point is. I can tell you though that although it's been work that I've been getting to do, and obviously there's always the next level and the next level. I can tell you that it's way easier than what my current reality was a few years ago. Because of what you're sharing super cute and everything, but still not helping me understand 100% where does my reality begin. And you're right, I haven't gotten there yet. And to do this, I wanted to share with you the story where everything began for me, for my personal development, for my growth in my business and my finances, and just being at peace, being in harmony, just create the life that I am living in at the moment. This was 2021. I was living with who was my partner at the time, and we got into this really heated argument. And point is, it didn't end up well, and we ended up splitting up. And if you might or might not recall, this was where COVID was still very happening, basically. So there was really not much going on, business wise. I had been with this person for about a year and a half. Great guy, his whole mentality was based on the family and him being the provider and the women at home taking care of him and taking care of the kids. And as I respect that mentality and I respect women that do that, I wasn't really raised that way. I didn't really feel like I was just meant to be home and take care of the kids. I felt like I could do a lot more and help people in other ways and with their finances because it's really something that I was really good at since I was super little. Math, not finances, math, because throughout my life, finances to me or being good with money was not spend or spend little or, things like that. So not trying to go on a tangent there, but trust me, once you start watching more videos where I start creating more content, all of this is going to make sense because it is a big part of my journey. So anyway, we split up, jobless. I was doing some part-time work, independent work. Um, and it was just basically covering for part of the bills for my kids' clothes, my clothes, my car insurance, and he was taking care of all the expenses. But I didn't have any savings. The only thing I had was $300 they were not my emergency fund, but more like recycle money, basically. Because at the end of the month, I always had this $300, which I use throughout the course of this following month. And then at the end of the month, I had $300 again. Okay, so why am I sharing this with you? How is this relevant? Okay, so all I had to my name was $300 and our clothes and a car that I was actually making payments on, and the payment was 340, and the payment was coming up. So actually, I was negative $40, and some credit card debt because we had used the balance to fix up the house and to buy some essentials for the house. So my mom had a friend who had a bit of a house outside of the city, and he allowed us to stay there while I got enough money to find our place. And he was so kind to let us do that, and I'm forever going to be grateful for that. So anyway, and within those 2 months and a half that we stayed there, I was driving to my mom's like every week or every other week, just to visit. And obviously, she was very supporting and everything. But I remember specifically just around the time that I was looking for an apartment already, because I was financially ready by that time, like about 2 months later. I remember how specifically she told me with all her love from the bottom of her heart, trying to protect me and my kids. She told me, "You're not going to be able to make it alone." Not necessarily what you want to hear when you're going through a situation like that, right? Thankfully, at that time, I had already started working on my mindset, on limiting beliefs. I started learning about personal development. So when I heard that, far from getting upset or far from judging her or far from, even giving in to feeling like a victim there and just staying in that situation, all I said to her was, don't tell me that. Just don't. I didn't want that to be part of my beliefs. Okay, so giving you some hints there. Okay, fast forward a few months, the same year, I started watching this program that their advertisement was how you can earn $5,000 becoming a remote bookkeeper. I was already doing bookkeeping. I was just not making $5,000 a month. However, it kind of became my my goal or the limit actually, and you're gonna understand why I'm saying the limit. So I started working and I started getting more clients and I started networking and started basically co-creating. Okay. Everything was out there. The opportunities, the clients, the networking, the platforms, everything was out there. I just needed to be in alignment with it and go and get it. Right. So I started getting more clients, and I remember I think it was like around September, I had an incredible month. And I go and I run my finances and I see that it wasn't even the end of the month and my billing was already at $6,000 for that month. Okay, so check this out. My brain was like, wait a minute, what the hell is this? It's 5,000, it's not 6,000. There's something wrong here. You know, what happened? Again, thankfully, I was working on mindset, personal development, limiting beliefs, and so on. So I caught myself doubting that. I caught myself just becoming comfortable and saying like, oh, well, like I already even passed the $5,000. Why do I need to do anything else? Right. And then I caught myself and I was like, no, wait a minute. There's something not adding up here. And I gone on YouTube and I just searched for any motivational video, and a video of one of my coaches came up that talks about financial signaling. And I had already heard heard my coach talk a lot about financial signaling, which it was just words to me. I didn't really understand what he meant until I realized that that goal of mine, $5,000 a month, had become my financial ceiling because I was trying to just reach that and get there and not even have an idea how to, or that it was even possible that I could pass that. That year, which was officially my first year in business, I closed it with almost $60,000. And mind you, the first 3 months, I didn't even thought it was remotely possible for me to make or to reach that ultimate goal of $5,000 a month, because it's just, no, that was for other people or like really great professionals that have been in the industry for like 20 years or something. That was what I thought at the beginning. And the most that I have made throughout my life, I think the 1 year that I made the most money was $28,000 in a whole year, and I went from that to almost 60,000. So it was a big deal for me. And then I started doing a lot more coaching and a lot more learning and, self-development, educating myself. And in that process, my mentality started adjusting. I started unlearning things that weren't serving me anymore. And I started learning things that were helping me get to the next level. Following year, this is something embarrassing, but I need to share it because it is part of the story. Following year, I joined this group of professionals, bookkeepers and accountants, tax preparers. And a lady new in the group, she asked, how do you make your business get to $5,000 a month in revenue? And then someone comments and says, you start by making $10,000 in revenue. And of course, my own limiting beliefs, I was like, oh, this person is so pretentious. And I caught myself again. And I was like, wait a minute. No, I am limiting myself. Like I'm the one, you know, first of all, judging someone. I don't even know the process. And second of all, if somebody can do it, that means that I can do it too. That year, I hit my first 6 figures in revenue and just increasing year after year after that, right? So I never thought that was even possible for me. I mean, I'm a single mother. I wasn't born here. I don't have a college degree. I mean, there were so many things that were against, like just didn't add up, right? It wasn't possible simply. But that is where it starts. That is where our reality starts. It starts with our beliefs. That's where it begins. One, awareness. What are our beliefs? What is limiting us is not the environment, it's not the outside, it's not the economy, it's not the politicians, it's not paying taxes. No, it's our beliefs. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, do you think you can have a 6-figure business? I would have been like, what's that? Because even though I was in finances and even though I was working at a small business that was making more than 6 figures, I was just working there. Like, how would I ever get there? You know, the most that I made was $28,000 in a year. So you're telling me that in 2 years, I'm going to almost triple that? Nah, not me. At least that would have been my mentality back then. That was my mentality back then. In conclusion, our reality begins in here. It gets filled up by what's in here, and it gets supported by what we see. If we want to change what we see, we got to become aware of what's in here. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and keep watching. There's some funny stuff that I wanted to show you. Take care. Have a good Hello everyone. That's not the only. So I'm gonna put it in the bloopers. Like,
Guys, she told me not to go out today. Oh my god.
what the hell does that even mean? What the hell does that even mean? I love you.
I love you.